but this is good. We can go ahead and start.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys for logging on and figuring out how to do that. I'm always impressed with tech wizardry, and I feel like even just clicking on the live link is tech wizardry. Okay. We're going to start with some housekeeping. We're going to have a short little inspirational message, and then Colleen is going to give us a tour of Mighty Networks and some of the features that are in Mighty Networks. I just wanted to start with saying that we're talking about the time it takes to do these assignments. I am proud of you for being so introspective and so good at doing these deep work assignments. They can be exhausting, and they do require a lot of bravery, but it also requires time. And I want to say that we've allotted you enough time. I know we have not. I want to explain a little bit why. The reality is we have given you truncated time because we're trying to give you a survey of everything that's available in this course. This course is meant to be a survey or an overview of understanding and identifying, exploring, and taking action for your life. This means that you're going to feel a little frustrated with the timing, and you might feel rushed to do it. And that is normal, and it is okay. You are not behind in your assignments, though. I just want to make it clear that even though you feel like, oh no, I should just give up now, please do not. You will have access probably to this material till at least the end of the year. You will always have your downloaded PDFs. You will always have your printed workbook. You'll always have the work that you have typed in and all of that. You will always have that. So let me assure you, just to keep plodding along. And when something feels extra bloated in terms of like what we are requiring of you, just take note of that. We're going to keep going at this clip so we can expose you to all of this information and do it in an expeditious amount of time, because we want you to get an overview and revisit the things that you want to revisit the most, and then tell us what are those things that you wanted to revisit the most. That will help us in gauging where to spend more time, where to spend less time. And part of this beta course is to kind of nail down that timing and what is kind of the most easy to digest. So that is that. Keep plotting. There will be deep dives later, so please also take notes of the topics that you love and you wish you could go deeper on. We'll spend more time of those deep dives and in some workshops later. We have a lot of things in the pike, and we'll send you a poll near the end of this cohort to see what sort of experts you want to hear from, what sort of topics you want to go deeper in. Some of the topics that we've been thinking about are entrepreneurship and kind of a 101 of how to start a business, how to run a business with experts helping us at that. AI and tech for the older ladies or anyone that doesn't understand tech or hasn't been exposed to that. A divorce 101, kind of how to help you maneuver those very scary first parts of when you're considering getting divorced, and all the helpful tips that people have used to get through that, and one-on-one HR help. So these are sort of the things, one-on-one HR help to enter the workforce. Those are the things that are coming in the pike. Those are the things that we've been working on, but we want to hear from you. So please take note of the things that you want to hear the most of. Okay, also your addresses. As a thank you for participating in this beta group and being so good with your diligence and your comments, if you are willing to share your physical address, look for an email in the next week or so where you can share your physical address with us. We have a pile of goodies that we are compiling that you are going to love, including the value exercise card exercise game that Colleen made. It's beautiful and it's fun. So look for that email, and if you're comfortable, give us your physical address and we'll send it to you. Okay. So for the quick message before Colleen gets into her tour of Mighty Networks, I'm calling this section, It Cannot Group Helen. And that sentence comes from Howard's End. Howard's End is a book by Forster. Forster is an Edwardian author. The Edwardian era in England comes after the Victorian era for only a very short amount of time, 9 years, 1901 to 1910. And it's before the World War I era after that. So it's this bridge from sort of old Victorian England into the modern day. There are so many wonderful artists and authors in this Edwardian time, and it's what I studied in my master's degree. Part of my thesis was on Howard's End. I love this book. Everything about it is, I don't know, I've read it, I don't know how many times I've read it, but everything about it is about connection and about hearing this little goblin in the universe that's sort of chasing after you and what that means, and how to connect these disparate worlds. One's Howard's End is a cottage they describe as not in the city and not in the country. It's in between, and it's where all the action happens. But what I want to talk about is this one very specific paragraph at the end of the book, and how it relates to what you've been doing for the last 2 weeks, which is doing deep dives into who you are, your personality, your identity, and all of these very heavy duty assessments and introspections that you've been doing. I have told you, or maybe you feel like I forced you to do these things and take some kind of uncomfortable looks at yourself. And in order to come up, I've encouraged you to do this, to come up with names and labels for them so that you are able to deal with them in a manner that gives you a little more clarity. When you understand who you are and you have a label for it, it's a little more manageable. And I've encouraged you to do that. And it is a good thing to do. This is a genuinely good thing to do. But I want to show you where, like, this is a painting in my house. I'm gonna be like super brave and try to share my screen here. If it works, can you see it?
Yes.
Ah, that's so good. This painting is in my house. It says, here's a close-up of it right here. While she was chair sitting, many things were resolved. And in the bottom, it says, she did it often. She did it often. And I love this painting because it is exactly what we've been doing. We've been sitting, we've been introspective. A lot of things are coming from that. It is always a good thing to do, but a word of warning. I do not want you to pigeonhole yourself, and I don't want you to compare yourself to other people's labels and traits that they have come up with. And I certainly do not want you to judge them as they've come, because as we've seen in especially the too much exercise that we did, sometimes things that are deemed as negative can actually really be a positive thing if we can reform it in our mind and redefine it. And so I don't want you to do those things. Just like Brian Little said in his TED Talk about the ocean traits and your free traits, he doesn't want pigeons to be in pigeonholes either, and neither do we. We did that for a reason, but I just want you to hold them loosely. You may, for a couple of reasons, you may have clung on to certain labels your whole life. Maybe you think you're too scattered, you're too lazy, you're too dumb, you're too this, you're too that. Those exercises were meant to give you distance and a little perspective for new things that you've discovered about yourself. But you don't want to find something that you find is a new negative thing to switch into, to cling to, instead of just some old negative thing. So please do not do that. If you are used to leaning into labels as an excuse, like, oh, this is one I've done many times, I'm just ADHD, and so this is why I can't do things. If you use that as an excuse, it is not helpful to you. It does you no favors. And so I don't want you to do that with these newly discovered traits. And I don't want them to have them take over you and to group you. And that word is something that's going to come up in this Howard's End. The whole point of these exercises is really just to allow exploration for what is possible and for you to just observe, maybe if it's a negative thing, observe it and manage it. But it doesn't mean I want you to take it on and wear it as a badge. All the things that we've talked about as badges, we don't need new baggage badges. We need ones that help us and uplift us. And if they are something that is a badge that we find is challenging, just note it and know how to manage it. It's meant to connect you. These exercises are meant to connect you to something larger, something bigger than yourself. And have those new traits help you with meaningful engagement in the greater world for other people. And that's where Howard's End comes in. I will say that in the beginning of this book, I'm not going to go through the whole plot of it. In the beginning of this book, the very first scene is they are in Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, a concert at Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, and there's the Schlegel family that is attending it. Tibby is the brother, Helen and Margaret are the sisters, and Helen is listening to this music, and in the music she hears this goblin that she feels is like kind of pouncing around, lurking in the universe, and she doesn't know what it is, and it disturbs her enough that she leaves because she can't get it out of her mind that this thing is following her. Well, lots of activity happens within the story, and at the end of the book, spoiler, sorry, but it's from 19 something. At the end of the book, she finds herself unwed and pregnant, and her sister Margaret, who has married an upstanding widower in the community, loves her sister and is concerned about how this is going to affect her and her view. And this is what the part that I want to read. It is at the end. Hold on. She says this, or the narrator says this. Margaret wondered, but said no word of blame. She's just found out that her sister is pregnant. This was Helen's evening. Troubles enough lay ahead of her. The loss of friends and of social advantages, the agony, the supreme agony of motherhood, which is even yet not a matter of common knowledge. But for the present, let the moon shine brightly and the breezes of the spring blow gently, dying away from the gale of the day, and let the earth who brings increase bring peace. Not even to herself dare she blame Helen. She could not assess her trespass by any moral code. It was everything or nothing. Morality can tell us that murder is worse than stealing, and group most sins in order that all must approve, but it cannot group Helen. The sure is pronouncements on this point. The sure that we may be that morality is not speaking. Christ was evasive when they questioned him. It is those who cannot connect who hasten to cast the first stone. She is looking at this situation. She knows that that people will group her in a certain thing, and I love that line that we group things and we rank things and it's better or worse, but they cannot group Helen. They cannot group her because she's a person, she's a human, and so are we. And so I want to I want you to be kind to yourself if you found anything that maybe was uncomfortable to you in these exercises. And again, hold them loosely, and just as a means to connect to other greater things. I don't want you to do, as they say, cast stones, because people who cast stones are not connectors, they're isolators, and these are meant to connect you. So instead, as Ian Forster says, let the moon shine brightly and the breezes of spring blow gently, and let the earth who brings increase bring peace. So that is my message for you tonight, and I hope that you can read this book or watch this movie. I really do love it. So we're going to turn the time over to Colleen. She's going to show us a little tour of Mighty Networks.
Okay, thanks. Every day we are learning the system just like you are. And so we're always surprised, like this morning when I figured out how to share badges, because I'm like, beautiful. So I am going to show you my entire screen, right? And Tamara did such a great job of it.
I don't want to brag, but I'm like super good at it.
You are super good at it. Mine is going to my second screen, I think. Okay, so I'll maneuver down here. I have a few screens going on. So on the Coco Madre app itself, when you come in here, this is our main page that people come in and are invited to. Once you get past that, you'll see I wanted to go over these buttons up here. So this is where you can always connect with us, and anything that you want to message us about or the group in general, you go ahead and do this. This goes ahead and shows you our members. You're up there. These are the people that are actually taking the cohort right now with us. And then the third button is our Coco chat. This is like where you'll see polls, where you see like we're going live tonight, our events, different things that we have, comments, people that come and join, they talk about themselves a little bit so you can get to know each other. You always have the opportunity to message each other, talk directly to each other in this area. And the discovery is if you're looking for, say you had a question like, I needed to know about a certain thing, and you wanted to know like, oh, where can I watch the lives? Where can I start a chat? It has all of our beautiful, everything that we post is available in this discovery. It's just a quick key search. And then our events, which we have posted, are our lives. You can watch and see as we get through this beta class, we have things scheduled for the spring, events coming up, where we do workshops. This will all be live to you then. What you're probably familiar with is our this section right here is basically what Coco Madre is. And it's kind of hidden right now, but this right here will tell you a little bit about our mission and what we want to do and who is this for. But the thing that we're working on right now is our 65-day starter class. Right now, the only access you have is this Life Appraisal button, a resource library, and our foundations. But our other sections are, as they open and become accessible to you, your Coco or your Mighty Networks will look like this. We're in our first section, right, is our Life Appraisal. In the next few weeks, we'll go to our life work exploration, deliberate design. Those things will be available as you get to that point. You don't lose things as you go through. They're always here. Here's the days that we've worked on. These are upcoming days that we're coming to. But they're always kept here. So you'll never lose anything. We've talked about the journal pages. If you haven't been doing that, this is an example of what a day looks like. It goes ahead and it gives a little synopsis of what you should expect. It gives you the video to play for the day, and then it allows you to either have the PDF workbook that you can, by clicking this, you can download it to your computer, or you can go straight to a digital workbook that comes up here, and you can enter whatever you need to, and then remember to save it to your hard drive, upload it and save it. So that's basically what we have going on right now for you in the Mighty Network. As we build and as we grow, we will be able to continue to show you different things. So right now, I want to show you what a profile looks like. So if I go back up to my member tab, I'm not sure what screen you're seeing, but I think it's this one. Yeah. We will be able to show you sorry, I don't know why the Life Appraisal is only what I'm seeing.
Do you click the X on the right?
Okay, here we go. So if you go up to your members and you can see, let me hit Tamara. Look at what a cute girl she is. And you can chat with her. You can view her profile. Tells a little bit about Tamara. And there is her badge. Look, Coco. Look at the bat. So she's received, all of you have received our favorite medal from Annie Oakley. And it reminds us that even in the dark, we can find our way by trusting our instinct. You've taken your first brave step into the starter kit journey. And we have 31 people that we're really excited about that are taking this cohort with us. They're all in different spaces, and that's the beauty of it. We're all on our own path, and we're getting through this. If there are any tech questions, please reach out and ask us. I know that was just a really quick overview, but the more you use it, the easier it's going to get, the more familiar it's going to get. It's taken us a long time to get to a place that we feel comfortable with this platform, and we're learning every day. And I think it is designed for community. It is designed for reaching out. It is designed for you to have those conversations. The more we get into this in our next section, you'll see we take a lot of tests and assessments, and we would love to hear your comments and whatever you want to say. And we're hoping you're making connections inside the community. But this is a place for us to build those connections.
And Colleen, when they chat, when they pick someone to chat with, it is a direct message, right? Nobody else can see it.
No one else can see it. You have the ability to chat directly to them. You also have the ability to have the ability to go on our Coco chat. And this is when you leave a message for everyone, right? Like Shane, if you get to know Shane, Shane's very interesting. She's lives in Tamara found out, us being able to talk to her is great. She lives across the continent from us on a totally different, the world in a totally different continent. And it's really fun to get to know you guys by what you're sharing. So we appreciate the shares because they do really help us get to know you.
And do the polls pop up for them as a notification?
Yes. Everything when our classes go live, we try not to notify you too much. But we will notify you. You will see something that will say where you're at. When I say where you're at, like it will say the next courses are available. It will say that we have a live poll up and various things like that. So you will see those. Those come on your email. Plus, they also come across your phone or whatever device you are notifying you. If you have your notifications set that way, if you have your notifications set. But I think I said.
And as we learn how to use the badges, you earn them for doing certain things. And you can also be an ambassador, which means you can help sort of moderate groups. If there are like niches within the community, you can help moderate those. There's a lot of interesting and exciting resources and ways to use Mighty Networks, but we're starting slow when we're using it with the for our lessons, for our videos and our workbooks. But we've gotten great connections with people on our chat feature. So thank you, Colleen. Okay, we want to get you out of here on time. So I just want to say next week, we're talking about money. It's our last week of the Life Appraisal section. But this week, we are appraising and assessing our relationship and our understanding of money. Money is a fraught topic for many women, especially if they have been caregivers who have never made it and who have never had to be in charge of it and don't understand it. It comes with a level of shame for a lot of people because they don't understand the basics of it, but we're going to start in the appraisal section just to see where you are, what your relationship is with it, and then in later sections kind of do overviews of basic money matters. But a lot of people say that they like this section because they've never had to put words to what their relationship is with money, and it's a different approach than most people, and it gets them thinking in ways that they have never considered. And it really does kind of bring about, oh, that's why I do this with money. That's why I always do X or Z when this happens. And so it's very useful and very thoughtful. And then at the end of that, you are done with life appraisal, and bravo for that, because that is a huge accomplishment. It's been 4 weeks of that, and that at the end of next week. So that will be a big accomplishment. I don't know what do badges, maybe like we're going to do like the little Monopoly guy. I don't know. But so thank you very much. Great job for all you've done already. Look for the survey this weekend on the content from this week. Please fill it out. It will not hurt our feelings. Again, I'll say this a billion times. It only helps us if you give us active and good feedback. And we will see you next week.
Thanks, you guys. Bye-bye.